Welcome back, Roger, back at you with the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. This episode is all about artificial intelligence or AI, why it's important right now for your restaurant. Now, there could be some intimidation. You might be thinking, oh no, technology. Yes, it's moving forward quickly, but think of the things you can do with it. Inventory, menu pairing, marketing, all sorts of promotional ideas. It's amazing. So today's expert is Jesse Stein, and he is the CEO and a co-founder of a company called Hermetic AI. It's about the ins and outs of artificial intelligence today and why you and your restaurant or hospitality company should adopt it and learn all you can, because it's a powerful tool. Now, on with this episode.
You're tuned in to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. Powerful ideas to rock your restaurant. Here's your host, Roger Beaudoin.
Every guest in your restaurant sees your menu. It's your most important and effective marketing tool, and every impression counts. TerraSlate not only provides easy-to-clean, waterproof, ripstop, antimicrobial menus that last, they also work with you to design menus that sell. It's time for a new menu. Get TerraSlate with a super-fast one-day turnaround and free overnight shipping. Go to terraslate.com. That's spelled TerraSlate.com. Listen, your restaurant wants more business. Birthdays bring more business. Not just more guests, but 40% higher check averages. Best of all, more birthdays happen Sunday through Thursday when you want more business. You can get an all-done-for-you service that sends you all the birthday business. Don't lose birthdays to the competition. Go to jointhebirthdayclub.com/birthday rockstar. It's a piece of cake. Welcome back, everyone. This is the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. Jesse, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Great. Thanks, Roger, for having me.
You know, this is so important because everyone's heard of artificial intelligence. It's moving at light speed. You're not only the co-founder of a tech company that specializes in hospitality, but you're also an expert on all things AI. So I want to kind of dive in and, talk about what's really important about artificial intelligence. What do restaurant operators and hospitality professionals need to know? And we're just going to start off there. So what's really important for them to understand about AI? It can be intimidating. There's a dark side to it, of course. Give us kind of your overview thoughts on that.
Yeah. So first of all, to kind of dip your toe into the AI pool as a restaurant owner, and then just kind of like your leadership as well. If you're a multi-chain owner or even a single store, single location operator, just download ChatGPT onto your phone and download the app, pay the $15 a month. And if you haven't already, get really familiar with what it can do and what it can't do by asking it questions the same way you would with Google. And you'll find, first of all, that an app like ChatGPT or Gemini, or for example, Twitter, you can use Grok, will quickly replace Google for a lot of your queries, because it'll end up doing a better job of it. And then what you can do is you can kind of expand that out a little bit by asking questions like, well, let's pretend that you have a restaurant in Portland, Oregon. So you can maybe ask it, tell me all of the people in Portland, Oregon who could amplify my restaurant, from journalists to the mayor to podcasters to celebrities, anyone who could theoretically stand up on a tall mountain and grab a bullhorn and yell real loud about my restaurant, if I could surprise and delight them. And you'll be shocked to see that GPT will output a bunch of those names, and it can keep going. And then you can take those names, let's say, and not only names, but organizations. So it might output Rotary clubs and YPO chapters and various organizations, you would want to take those then and put them into a spreadsheet. And then you could ask GPT, for example, to kind of rank those folks based on certain criteria. So let's say you end up with your dream 500 amplifiers as a result of this exercise. You could then kind of rank those folks, maybe across different dimensions, like how easy are they to get in touch with, and then to what extent could they actually like amplify your restaurant? And those people might include fellow hospitality entrepreneurs and owners who don't compete with you at all. So it might include hotel operators and operators of other venues and so forth. And I think you'd be surprised at the level of pick and shovel work and the hundreds or even thousands of hours that could save you. So that's kind of like a long-winded answer. Download it onto your phone and then start asking it questions. Get comfortable with it. First of all, lean into it. Most importantly, I mean, you will be hopelessly outdated. I mean, the generation gap happens very quickly now, and so just why not get familiar with it and then like test it on the exercise I just described.
So this sounds like a huge marketing opportunity, and we're going to get into a lot of other potential uses, but what I heard primarily was influencers marketing who can make an impact on my business if I can somehow make a connection. My first question would be accuracy, because data changes minute by minute, and someone who was in a certain position to help me, I suddenly reach out to them and they left that job last week or a year ago. Does this keep up in real time? Like, how does that work? I mean, how accurate can the information it literally provides to you, does it always just keep updating all the time?
That's a great question. No, it is often not updated. So you have to check it. And what I do is I'll ask GPT. So for a list, this kind of dream 500 amplifier thing is a wonderful way to grow your business, like I described, sort of asking GPT for all these people and organizations. Then you want to go to LinkedIn.
Okay,
and
sure.
you want to hire somebody. And you can do this off of Upwork.com, for example. If you've never used Upwork.com, it's like the Uber of contractors. And so you could hire somebody offshore for $7-8 an hour to spend 100 hours or 50 hours taking that dream 500. And to your point, Roger, like make sure that they're still employed by the organization that GPT says they're employed by. And then take that data and enrich the data with information like the name of the company they're employed with, their LinkedIn profile, if they have Instagram, their Instagram profile. And then you can go to a place like hunter.io and pay a little bit of money to take that list of 500, let's say you end up with, and find email addresses. And so you can get in touch with those folks. And then you would need to do a little bit of research, never spam those people. Your emails will be totally ignored, but do a tiny bit of research, and you can have the offshore team write a couple lines about them and even write the email that you would send to those folks. So you have a much higher likelihood of getting response. And then all of a sudden you find yourself playing a big numbers game where you're reaching out to 500 of these dream amplifiers, and you end up in conversations with 100 of them, and over a year end up meeting those 100 people, and it takes your business to the next level.
That's really solid advice. You just triggered a thought. What if I throw out a couple of pain points or challenges of restaurants right now? Can you give me your idea really quickly of what you just did for, say, the marketing idea with chat? What AI can do, say, for inventory? Can it help you with an inventory system if you don't already have that and point you in the right direction? Like, I'm going to throw out a couple of different things, but let's start there.
Awesome. So I'm going to save you guys a ton of money right now and a ton of time. Instead of trying to take matters into your own hands by using some of these large language models like ChatGPT and Gemini to optimize, let's say, your menu or your inventory or whatnot, there are venture funded companies who are all over this, and they eat, sleep, and breathe these problems. The question becomes, which of these software vendors that offer AI solutions is good? And I have a great hack for you guys. So there's a website and a service called builtwith.com. I've been using BuiltWith for probably more than 15 years now. It's phenomenal. You pay $300 for a month. And what you do is find the restaurateurs, if you're a restaurant group, or if you're a hotel owner or hotel chain owner, find the hotel owners and entrepreneurs, the chains that you really admire, that lean into technology, that are the first adopters.
There we go.
First of all, don't be a pioneer. Don't be a pioneer. Pioneers end up face down in the dirt, dead with arrows in their back. Everyone knows that. Like, follow the pioneers, right? Google was the 23rd search engine launched. Everyone thinks that they were the pioneer. They followed the pioneers. So follow pioneers. And the way to do that, because the internet leaves breadcrumbs, because you can actually reverse engineer other people's playbooks, BuiltWith offers you a diabolical opportunity to do that. So you pay your $300. Let's say you're a restaurant owner, find the restaurant chains that are around your size or a little bit bigger. And then the ones who you really admire from a technology perspective, you know that they're always leaning in. And one way to discover these people is to go and listen to podcasts like yours, Roger, and listen to other people's podcasts and really get a sense of who is all over technology. Who are the first adopters? You go to BuiltWith, you type their names in. So it might be, I'm making this up, Lettuce Entertaining, right out of Chicago, 110 restaurants. RJ Melman, CEO.
Yeah, needs no introduction.
Amazing at leaning into technology, right? These, like RJ and his team, all over it. And so you would go to BuiltWith and you would type in, not necessarily lettuce.com, but you would type in one of their restaurants. And what BuiltWith will show you is their entire technology stack. They'll show you all the different technologies they're using from, so they might be using Triple Seat, let's say, for their events management software. They might be using 7 Rooms. They might be using EasyCater. They might be using a solution, an AI solution, or an AI-powered solution for inventory optimization, like you mentioned, or menu optimization for who knows what. And what you'll find in BuiltWith is you'll find literally hundreds sometimes of these technologies, okay? And what you want to do is type in about a dozen people like Lettuce Entertain You. It might be Tao Group. It might be, now you have to be careful, right? Because if you get to someone who has a different bank account than you have, then you might be finding software vendors that are out of your reach. And so you need to be careful about that and researching folks where you find that, let's say you put in a dozen of these people and you can find the commonalities real fast. And it's incredible how much time and money this saves you. And then you go and you conduct demos with all these people. And so you might find 15 different software tools and you go and conduct demos. And then what you do, a little hack, let's say you find Triple Seat and you find that that's a common thread. Go to your address bar in Safari or Chrome or whatever browser you use and type in Triple Seat versus in the address bar, and it'll autocomplete and show you all their competitors. You can also go to g2.com and type in Triple Seat and you'll see all of Triple Seat's competitors. What I want you to do, this is a really important decision, like which software vendors to go with to pave the way and grease the skids for your business for the next several years.
There's so many out there and they're all making so much noise. And if you go to the NRA show, there's like hundreds of booths of these tech companies all offering similar solutions. And it's so hard to vet these. But like you said, if you go to the leaders, the pioneers, those that have come before that are super successful and see what they're using, chances are it's going to work for you. That's what I'm getting.
You got it. You said it better than I did. And you're absolutely spot on. That is the move. Builtwith.com. $300 will save you thousands of hours.
Wow, because there's so many operators out there that know they need to do something. They haven't done something, or they've already started doing something, but is it doing everything that'll optimize your operation? And that's really what we're talking about here. What about the downsides, the potential? I mean, we've all heard the horror stories, and unfortunately, there is a dark side to everything. There's a huge upside. How do you avoid that? What do you see? What advice can you offer about avoiding things that are not going to help your business that could potentially backfire and be a negative reflection on your business with your guests? Do you see any of that going on?
Yeah, so they already know everything about us already. So it's, it's using Google for a quarter century probably. And so you want to not be naive about that. Like they know a lot about you already, but don't upload your customer guest lists into GPT, for example.
Right. Yep.
But just know that like you want to outflank your competition and you want to be more nimble than them. And so you do want to err on the side of using these tools sooner rather than later and getting your reps in now. And so don't upload any data where you wouldn't want it out there. And it's not that supposedly there's a Chinese wall with GPT and these other services, but you certainly want to exercise caution. If you're with a software vendor that other people are using, like Let Us Entertain You, for example, you can fully trust a vendor like that. It's the same. For example, our company, Hermetic AI, there's a total Chinese wall. We employ the large language models like Gemini and OpenAI, GPT, but everything is stored inside of our database, and we'll never leave that database. So if you do contract with a software vendor, I would go all in.
Okay. Is there a percentage, say, that a restaurant company, if you yourself were opening a restaurant, if you were an operator, a veteran operator, and you're just getting into this, there used to be a benchmark for what percentage of your revenue should be your marketing spend and all that. Are you seeing a certain percentage that you should allocate towards AI or towards some of these software tools in order to optimize your business? Is that benchmark really out there?
Yeah, not that I've seen. And it really depends on obviously the size of your restaurant, because the percent tech spend will depend on that. What you can do is on Built With, for example, type in triple seat, and then you can export all of triple seat's clients. And in the triple seat spreadsheet off of Built With, you will see a tech spend dollar amount for each restaurant, and you can sort in descending order, and you can pick out folks who who are around your size, and you can see on average how much are they spending every month on technology. Mm-hmm. And that is a great way to give yourself a sense of, and you can see exactly what are they using. So you can be like, oh, this company that's my size that I know is a pioneer and is crushing it and is leaning into technology, they use this, and this software vendor. I probably should as well.
This doesn't necessarily have to be a tech answer to this question, but you've got quite a few pioneering clients with your current company, Hermetic AI. And I know that there's a lot of opportunities that come and go. You either hit them out of the park, you miss them. What are you seeing that you think every operator should take advantage of, whether it's technology or just an operational piece of advice? Could you answer that, with whether it's tech related or not?
Absolutely. So number one, first of all, tech related, they're all leaning into technology. The problem, they're leaning into technology, and they build a culture of experimentation into the DNA of their restaurant business or their hospitality business. So those two are definitely common threads. And what do I mean by culture of experimentation? They are constantly making small bets about, on something that could improve their business. And remember, like, making a small bet, not a bet the company bet, but not a Hail Mary, but a small bet, that's not the expensive. It's very inexpensive to experiment. The more expensive thing is when the experiment works out, right? Then you need to double down on it, but that's great. If the experiment works out, it costs a little bit of money to double down on it. But so, for example, I know of a restaurant chain, and I can share this because it's public information, that when they give the check to the guests at the end of the dining experience,
Yes.
they also give them a handwritten note with real pen from the owner that thanks them for dining with them, and with a little QR code sticker there. And the note would say, and the server will give this to all the folks that seem really happy, and hopefully it should be a vast majority of the folks who dine with you.
I like it.
This is an awesome hack, and this is incredible, because it also plays into the extent to which your property, your location, your restaurant, your hotel shows up on Google Maps and Apple Maps and so forth, which I'll show you in a second.
Restaurants sell tons of fried food, and your customers love it. But the hassles, hazards, and mess of fryer oil, cleaning hoods, and all that grease, well, you can forget all that with Restaurant Technologies. They deliver your oil, filter it, monitor usage, collect and recycle your waste cooking oil. Their AutoMist system automates your hood and flue cleaning, eliminating the fire risk. As a Restaurant Technologies customer, you'll also save 10 to 15% in your insurance premiums. Plus, get a bonus for new customer referrals. Get started at rti-inc.com or call 866-399-3639. Taking food and beverage inventory is vital to determine your true food and beverage costs. It's not about placing your orders, it's calculating the value of your products, which can be many thousands of dollars each week. Don't leave your profit to chance when Sculpture Hospitality are the experts with a system. They don't just manage your inventory, they give you a clear picture of your restaurant profit. Get a free inventory consult at sculpturehospitality.com/rockstar.
You put the handwritten note down with the QR code on the tables with the check of the folks who were really happy with their meal, and you say, "Thank you so much for dining with me. We live and die by reviews. And if you wouldn't mind scanning this QR code and leaving a review." And then what you do is the QR code stickers, one is Yelp, you round robin. So one will have Yelp, one will have Google, one will have TripAdvisor and so forth, whichever review platforms you rely on. And a staggering percentage of people, as long as the note is on thick stock card,
Yes.
an image on the front,
Quality is important.
quality with real handwriting. So you can get someone to write this, but
Sure.
it's nice penmanship. And
Yes.
it can't be a single line. It's got to be like 3, 4, 5 lines. So it's really like took some time. So this is the classic psychological phenomenon of reciprocity, right? And so they're going to feel like, wow, you took the time to write this note. You live and die by reviews. Honey, we just had a great experience here. Let's do it. And it's the friction so low because all you do is scan the QR code. Yelp opens up directly onto the area where you leave the review. You're sitting right there. You're in the Lion King gift shop, so to speak. So you're excited after the play.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. And an amazing percentage, about 20%, will end up leaving reviews. That is staggering.
That's a huge return rate.
It's and then what you do is you use GPT to respond to those reviews, and you want to respond very, very quickly. So Google's algorithm in particular, and Yelp and TripAdvisor. So speed is really important, and then the length of your message is important. You're not going to write War and Peace in response, but you're also not going to respond with "thank you for your feedback" or whatever. You're going to say something thoughtful. You're going to say something really nice. And here's the gold star. If the server, this is definitely graduate level work, but like if the server could write down a note or two about the folks who were sitting there, and whether it was an anniversary, whether it was a birthday, whether they
personalize
were nothing
it.
Personal, nothing ever that they would not want to be public.
Sure.
But then if the response to their review could be personalized
Yes.
to them, then what happens is that couple or that person or that group will receive that notification that you as a restaurant responded, and it'll fill them with warm and fuzzies. And those folks will become volunteer marketers and will tell anyone who listens that I can't even believe this. They put a handwritten note and it'll become a talk trigger. And then what happens too, it's just like this virtuous circle. What'll happen is you'll show as you get this critical mass. By the way, they're all going to be 5-star. Almost all of them will be 5-star reviews because you're giving them to folks that were happy and all this. And then you'll get found in Google Maps. You'll get found in Apple because a big part of their algorithm is recency and frequency and star rating, and then the quality of the review itself, and then the response to the review. So all that combined will get you more visibility on local search.
How tremendous was that? Oh my gosh, you covered on so many things that it started off with this whole old school feeling of the old maitre d' that had the personal touch of all the, the people that came into the restaurant, getting to know them, but a personal handwritten note. You don't see that. It just stands out immediately. And people, this is unfortunate because human nature is you have a bad experience. So many people are going to immediately go and leave you a negative review and slam the restaurant. And obviously you have to respond to all those, but you have a great experience and less people are likely to give you a review unless you ask for a review. And you just gave us an easy, awesome, really powerful way of getting all those reviews, and not just a review, but a 5-star review. So that was tremendous. Thank you for that.
I got another one. This will be really short.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
This is freaking awesome.
Tell us.
The bane of every hospitality owner's existence is negative reviews.
Of course.
And so you need dozens of 5-star reviews to make up for a single 1-star review. We all know that mathematically.
For sure.
So if you know that your guest is unhappy for whatever reason, leave the handwritten note. So it might be when the guest checks out of your hotel. It might be, when you're giving them the check, and it would offer a discount for their next visit with you, a sincere apology with no asterisks, with no buts.
Yes.
Apology,
no excuses. Yep.
No excuses. With you would kindly come back, whatever you want to say. I would like to humbly offer you this discount. 9 times out of 10, it'll head off at the pass that 1-star review that was almost inevitable.
Yeah, turn the situation around. We kind of call that give them a pickle. Give them a little something extra, but make it genuine and show them that you really care and that you value their opinion. I think that's excellent. Awesome. Let's shift gears. Let's talk about Hermetic AI. Now, it's interesting because you've got this really awesome video on your website, and I'm going to put that in the show notes, of course, how to view that. But there's something called Mia. Talk us through Hermetic AI. Tell us all about Mia and what Mia can do for your operation.
Absolutely. So Mia is an AI sales agent. Let's call her an assistant, more like it. And all she does is send text messages. And all she does is send text messages to engage within 30 seconds with inbound leads for private events. So you're a hospitality business owner, you have event venues, you love it when people do full, let's say, restaurant buyouts. So everything from corporate events to birthdays to bridal showers to weddings to you name it. A huge issue for hospitality owners is getting to the lead first before your competition does. And while that prospect is still hot, while they're happy and excited and in the Lion King gift shop, so to speak. And so the problem is when a lead comes in, let's say through a lead form on your website, or a phone call, and for whatever reason, the phone call is not picked up, or the lead comes in after hours, or your event coordinator happens to be on another call, and you probably notice that even if you respond a couple hours after your competitor has, if the stats are 80% of the business goes to the company that responds first. And so no matter, even if your food is better, even if your venue is nicer, even if your pricing is better, your service is better, doesn't matter. The first person who gets there and builds rapport and goes through the path, I mean, like, by the time you get there, the person might already have a proposal in their hand. So speed to lead is critical. So Mia engages within 30 seconds of a lead coming in. Her average is 11 seconds. And she engages with a personalized, she's an AI, so she never says the same thing twice. She engages within 30 seconds. Then, for example, let's say you have triple seat and you've got 17 forms in your private events lead form. And let's say they leave 3 of them blank for whatever reason. Mia will ask them and fill in the blanks and then synchronize all that data with your triple C. So your event coordinator knows that the person's qualified. Then Mia actually books the tour. She actually books the first appointment. So she integrates with your events calendar. So she knows whether or not so let's say the person wanted to do their corporate event on a day when your venues are all booked up. Mia is able to then go back and forth with that guest to find an open day. Then she actually nurtures the lead long-term. So she follows up on proposals, but you had a corporate event with us last year. Mia, of course, is going to reach out the next year to ask if you'd like to do another corporate event with us, perhaps at another venue. So Mia is not a replacement for the event coordinator. She doesn't plan the event. She's more like an assistant for the event coordinator. She helps the event coordinator sell more and earn more and focus on the activities, the more sophisticated activities of being the face of the business, of selling, of attending the event, of planning it, all those things. And I'll tell you, the bane of every event coordinator's existence is having to chase down leads. And Mia solves for all that. And Mia doesn't complain. She works 24/7. And let's face it, it's impossible. How do you keep track of the 721 people who did birthday parties and corporate events with you last year and nurture them precisely at the right time? And Mia gets smarter over time. And so she uses machine learning in the back end to know precisely when to reach out and what to say. Again, all by text message. So it's a 100% read rate. And she increases private events business by about 15%. And all restaurant and hospitality owners know that if you can decrease operating expenses and increase revenue, and that's like a force multiplier for you, it's magic.
That's tremendous. So additional profit centers. I'm such a huge believer in that, whether you're into catering or private parties. It's like there is downtime in your restaurant. There are opportunities where you can bring in additional business. There's breakage because people pay in advance for a certain number of people. And when those people don't come, it saves your food costs. I mean, there's so many advantages to that. But you hit the key, you hit it on the head by saying it's speed to lead. And if you don't have the bandwidth or the time to jump on something immediately when there's a lead, that's 90% lost opportunity because chances are it's going to your competition. And that is key. And the follow through, and also what you said about repeat business and knowing exactly when to contact them and not losing their business next year, nurturing a relationship. I mean, you covered it best, but powerful tool here. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of leads, we found that a lot of leads disappear for mysterious reasons, for a whole range of reasons. I should say. Someone's super interested for whatever reason, but they've reached out to 10 people at the same time. One lucky, venue happened to reach out faster, happened to engage with them. And by the way, it's Sunday at 7 p.m. And a lot of event coordinators, event managers, event directors tell me, I want my weekends back. I want my evenings back in terms of following up on leads. And Mia will also follow up on all missed phone calls. So any call that isn't answered, she'll follow up. And then if it's confirmed that it's a large group party, she'll go down the road with them. If it's not, then she'll say, no problem. We'll have someone call you back to help you make that reservation, and she'll reach out to the right person.
Whether I have an event coordinator or I just have a general manager or I'm the owner and I do it all, it's like, what's the bridge or the transition between Mia and me actually now communicating with these people and closing the deal, putting the menu together, whatever it is? Like, hey, tell us about that.
That's it. So she engages. So the workflow goes like this. So a lead comes in, an
Yep.
inquiry comes in
Mhm.
by phone, by submitted web form, and Mia engages the lead right away, like I described, in a personalized fashion by text message, so you know it's a channel that's getting read. To minimize the chances that it's a junk meeting or a tour, and then you realize during the tour, I'm sure a lot of you have been there before, that this person's not qualified. Mia will ask a number of questions. And by the way, she doesn't disqualify any lead, because we all know that if you can get on the phone with someone and chat them through it, you can often find a way to sell them. But the key is engaging them quickly. So as soon as Mia knows that the person's qualified, she can do one of several things. She can book the meeting directly, and then she sends the prospect a calendar invite and asks the person to accept the calendar invite, and then reminds the person day of the meeting so they show up, whether it's an initial Zoom meeting or a phone call or an in-person tour. Or if you just want Mia to text you, whether you're the owner, like you said, you're the general manager or an event coordinator, she will send you a text letting you know this lead is ready to go with the phone number right there. All you need to do is tap on the phone number, and Mia will give you a little summary of the conversation. 60 to 70 people, whatever. You don't even need to go into your triple seat anymore and go into that contact and see what's happening. You can know it directly from Mia. So it's all about speed, minimizing friction, simplicity. But that, like, to answer your question, that's the baton handoff right there between
Thank
Mia
you.
and you.
Wow. And there's a personal touch in there as well. That's fantastic. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, Jesse. We gave an overview of AI, what's important, what people are missing, mistakes people are making, and then we dove into, online reviews, which is so important. And you gave us a couple of great hacks, and then we ended up with Mia, Hermetic AI, and additional profit centers, and capitalizing on opportunities so it doesn't go to your competition. Can't thank you enough for being with us.
Thanks, Roger, for having me.
That was the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. Thanks so much to our audience for tuning in. Thank you for our sponsors for making this show possible. Hope you all stay tuned, stay well, and we can't wait to see you in the next episode.
People go to restaurants for lots of reasons. For fun, celebration, for family, for lifestyle. What the customer doesn't know is the thousands of details it takes to run a great restaurant. This is a high-risk, high-fail business. It's hard to find great staff. Costs are rising and profits are disappearing. It's a treacherous road, and smart operators need a professional guide. I'm Roger. I've started many highly successful, high-profit restaurants. I'm passionate about helping other owners and managers not just succeed, but knock it out of the park. I created a game-changing system, and it's filled with everything I've learned in over 20 years running super profitable, super fun restaurants. Everything from creating high-profit menu items and cost controls to staff training where your teams serve and sell, to marketing hooks, money-maximizing tips, and efficiencies across your operation. What does this mean to you? More money to invest in your restaurant, to hire a management team, time freedom, and peace of mind. You don't just want to run a restaurant. You want to dominate your competition and create a lasting legacy. Join the Academy, and I'll show you how it's done.
Thanks for listening to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. For lots of great resources, head over to restaurantrockstars.com. See you next time.